Hey guys, welcome back. It's Joseph. Quick and simple gospel. Yeshua, Jesus, came to this earth, lived a perfect 33 years, was crucified on a cross for our sins, buried in a tomb for 3 days, and rose from the grave on the third day. We are saved through faith in Christ alone and by no other name. Amen. So, good morning, guys. Hope you're all doing well today. Got two stories for you today. First story we're going to talk about, Mia Love, the first black Republican congresswoman, has died at the age of 49, and also former New York Yankee Brett Gardner, his son, has died at the age of 14 while they were on family vacation. A sudden illness took him out by the numbers. So we'll cover those two stories today. Let me check in with the chat. Hey Leslie, good morning. Hey LT, hey Sick and Tired, hey Evelyn, hey Sarah, hey Dustin, hey 113, hey Mike. Much love to everyone. Guys, do me a favor when you come in, please hit the like button. Very much appreciated, helps out the algorithm and helps more people find the video. And also please hit the share button. That way we can get this out to more people. Hey Travis, how you doing? Good to see you. Hey Bridget. Hey Jessica. All right, guys, here we go. All right, guys, just give me a second to get all set up, and then we'll get started. Hey Mary, hey Hearts and stuff, hey Cohen, much love. Hey Katie. All right, guys, here we go. Mia Love, first black Republican congresswoman, dies after cancer battle. And this article from March 23rd. All right, guys, so we're going to break this down all by the numbers using gematria, which is simply letters as numerals. And once you learn the simple code of coding letters into numbers, you can see right through the scripted coded news every day. Okay, so the first thing I want to point out with Mia Love, her birthday is December 6th. She died allegedly on March 23rd. So she died 107 days after her birthday. In gematria, ritual sacrifice equals 107. All right? So that's the first thing we're pointing out. She's dead 107 days from her birthday. Ritual sacrifice 107. So her real name is Ludmilla Love. Ludmilla Love equals 130, like human sacrifice is 130 in the same cipher. And Black Republican is also 130. So Ludmilla Love 130, Black Republican 130, human sacrifice 130. She died in Saratoga Springs. Saratoga Springs equals 67, and the same cipher, blood sacrifice 67, human sacrifice 67. Yes, KJ Malone. Yep. And, you know, I wasn't even going to mention that part, but since you are bringing that up, you know what? I probably will add that to the decode. I did see that, but I didn't put it in the decode, but I will. Actually, it's got the, I believe it's got the 222 and the 156, KJ Malone. New York, New York, got the 222 and the 156. And here's another one for you. Sorry. Hold on. Yeah, I had it right the first time. So here's a fun fact for you. This will be with the Brett Gardner decode, but you know 9/11 happened in New York on 9/11. See how 156, the 156 prime is 9/11, and see how New York has the 156. But yeah, let me pull that up so we don't forget when we get to Brett Gardner. So his birthday, and look at his average they show there for 2021. They showed 222. Here, we'll just leave that there. We'll just leave that on the screen. Hold on, we'll get back to Mia Love in a sec. You know, sometimes these live streams can get a little crazy. 824. So let's just pull this up for later. $824. He died on the 21st. There you go. So here's what me and KJ are talking about. So as you're going to see when we get to Brett Gardner, the son died allegedly March 21st. That was 156 days from Brett Gardner's birthday, like New York is 156. And I have no idea why I wasn't going to include this, because I looked it up and saw it. I don't know. I'm glad you're in here, KJ. But yeah, he died 22 weeks and 2 days from Brett Gardner's birthday, or 156 days. New York is 222 and 156. Okay, we'll save that for Brett Gardner when we get to it. And here we go. Here, let's, since we kind of went a different direction, let me just give you the quick recap here. We're only 3 slides into it. So Mia Love, dead at the young age of 49, allegedly from cancer. And you're going to see how cancer fits into the decode. But anyways, she's dead 107 days from her birthday. Ritual sacrifice is 107. Her name led Maya Love 130, like human sacrifice 130. Black Republican is also 130. She died in Saratoga Springs, which equals 67, like blood sacrifice and human sacrifice, 67. Okay, she died 74 months after leaving office. Killing equals 74. Her last day in office was January 3rd, 2019, so she's dead 74 months later. Killing, 74. So she's dead from cancer, which has the 44, and Congress also has the 44. Like kill is 44. But I think the 37 connection is even bigger, because she died exactly 37 weeks before her birthday, and she died from cancer. Look, cancer, 37, Congress, 37. Isn't that interesting? Member of Congress, dead from cancer, exactly 37 weeks from her birthday. Now, here's the skull and bones connection. So they're saying that she died 1 day after Skull and Bones Day, which is on 3/22. But, you know, for all we know, she could have died literally on 3/22. Or, you know, for all we know, she's not even dead. Maybe she's moved on to a new role, a new character. Maybe she's on the island or in the bunker. Who knows? But certainly very interesting that we would get this headline just 1 day after 3/22 when her name, Mia Love, equals 3/22. That's the number of Skull and Bones, the Brotherhood of Death. And don't forget, a ritual doesn't have to happen on 3/22 for it to be a Skull and Bones ritual. But literally, the last 5 decodes I've done, all 5 of them have been connected to Skull and Bones. And what happened over the last couple days? It was 322 over the weekend, right? So not only is Mia Love 322 the number of skull and bones, but she's dead after Cancer Battle. And Cancer Battle has the 41 and the 76, like Skull and Bones is 41 and 76. Remember, we had George Foreman dead at the age of 76 just one day before Skull and Bones Day. All right. Good morning, Bridget. Now, here's the connection to Donald Trump, because if you didn't know, Mia Love has had a long-time beef with Donald Trump. All right, number one, it says Mia Love slams Trump in concession speech. Now, remember, she's a Republican, right? So let me read this for you. It says, while seeking a third term in 2018, Love tried to separate herself from, I think they might have made a typo. While seeking a third term in 2018, Love tried to separate herself, Trump on trade and immigration, while still backing her party's positions on tax cuts. Okay. Despite Republican voters outnumbering Democrats by a nearly 3-to-1 margin in her district, though, she lost by fewer than 700 votes to former Salt Lake City Mayor Ben McAdams, a Democrat. Trump called out Love by name in a news conference the morning after she lost, where he also bashed other Republicans who didn't fully embrace him. Mia Love gave me no love and she lost, Trump said. Too bad. Sorry about that, Mia. So it's very interesting that she's got connections to Donald Trump. And long story short, she's dead 83 days before Trump's birthday. 83, that big number with murder. In gematria, murder equals 83. The song Murder by Numbers came out in the year 83. Look at the Murder by Numbers movie poster. The B is changed to an 8. The E is changed to a 3 because murder's 83. So there's one connection to Trump. But wait, there's more. Because she's dead after a cancer battle. Notice cancer battle is 220 and 76, like Donald John Trump is 220 and 76 in the same ciphers. And on top of that, Congresswoman is 185 and 68, like Donald John Trump is 185 and 68. And notice Donald J. Trump also has the 68. And Donald J. Trump also equals 49, and she's dead at the age of 49. Now, a few more things I thought were pretty interesting. See how Wikipedia writes her name, Ludmilla Mia Love. That's 153 and 198, like the Illuminati is 153 and 198. And Ludmilla Mia Love is 153, 54, and 72, like Jesuit order is 153, 54, and 72. All right. That is it for Mia Love. If you came in late, don't worry, we'll do a quick recap at the end. And now for Brett Gardner. All right, this one's even more fishy. Former Yankee star Brett Gardner's 14-year-old son dies after unexpected illness on vacation. Well, that's just fishy from the headline. That's not a headline you see every day. A former, New York Yankee great, he's on vacation with his family and his 14-year-old son just, mysteriously dies unexpectedly on vacation. Like, very, very fishy, right? All right, let's read this. Former New York Yankee star Brett Gardner's teenage son died unexpectedly after falling ill on vacation, the family said Sunday. Brett Gardner, 41, and his wife Jessica Gardner announced the teen's death via the Yankees' social media pages. Miller Gardner, 14, became ill alongside several other relatives on the trip, the family said. We have so many questions and so few answers at this point, but we do know that he passed away peacefully in his sleep on the morning of Friday, March 21st, they wrote in their statement. Brett, 41, and his wife Jessica Gardner shared a statement on X on Sunday, March 23rd, announcing that their son died unexpectedly amid a getaway with loved ones. Okay, so he allegedly died on the 21st, and this was announced on the 23rd. I guess they didn't want to be too obvious and make this connect to 322, but we're going to connect it to 322, and this is another skull and bones ritual, as you're going to see. So, very obvious ritual right from the jump, all right? The first thing I want to point out is super obvious that this is a ritual, okay? As we read, the story is already very fishy by itself, okay? I mean, I don't personally know anybody ever, like a friend of mine or a relative, that like they went on a family vacation and their teenage child just happened to die on the vacation from some unexpected illness. Like, this doesn't happen, okay? Unless it's in the fake news, right? So, long story short, the son's name, Miller Gardner, and Brett Gardner, the dad, he played his whole career with the Yankees, okay? Check it out. They're saying he died March 21st, the 80th day of the year. Look at that. Miller Gardner, 80, Yankees, 80. What are the odds of that? That's, that's pretty wild. For both of them to equal 80, Miller Gardner, 80, Yankees, 80, dead on the 80th day of the year. I don't think that's a coincidence. Now, Miller, his name was Miller, right? Look, Yankees player Brett Gardner announces son Miller, 14, has died. Miller equals 69 and 33. Look at the date he died on. March 21st, 2025, a day with 69 and 33 date numerology. Like Miller is 69 and 33. 3 plus 21 plus 20 plus 25, 69 like Miller, 69. 3 plus 21 plus 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 5 is 33, like Miller is 33. So not only was it on a day with 33 date numerology, but sun is also 33, New York equals 33, that's who he played for, Miller, 33, Masonry, 33, the highest degree of Masonry, the 33rd degree, and again, he died on a day with 33 date numerology. Now, speaking of Masonry, outfielder, Brett Gardner was an outfielder, which is a perfect match to the Freemasons. And 3 out of the 4 base ciphers, including the 115, outfielder 115 killing is also 115. Now, here's where we get into the skull and bones connections. Because remember, they said he died on 3/21, and they announced it on 3/23. So they're kind of dancing around the 3/22 date. Again, they probably didn't want to be too obvious for what I'm about to show you. Because the son died at 14, and by the way, Brett Gardner also played 14 seasons with the Yankees. We'll get to the number 14 a little more later on. But anyways, when you write out 14, it equals 41. That's how old the son was. He was 14. Well, guess how old the dad is? Brett Gardner. He's 41. Why does that matter? Because skull and bones equals 41. And like my last 5 decodes have all been connected to skull and bones because that's what happened over the weekend. Skull and Bones Day, 3/22. On top of that, Gardner, their last name equals 41. So when you write out 14 as a word, it equals 41. Gardner equals 41. Brett Gardner is 41 years old, and skull and bones equals 41. Family vacation equals 61. Skull and crossbones equals 61. Family vacation equals 83. Brotherhood of Death, 83. That's the nickname for skull and bones. And murder is 83. And just in case you thought my connections to 322 were crazy, look at the statement from Brett and Jessica Gardner It says, Brett and Jessica write, Miller was a beloved son and brother. See how they highlight beloved son and brother? See how that equals 322? The number of skull and bones? So how's that for confirmation? I tell you guys every day, if it's in quotation marks, it's coded. Beloved son and brother just happens to equal 322. Wow. Now, this was announced on March 23rd, and that was 154 days from the birthday of Brett Gardner. Ritual sacrifice is 154. And the son's name, Miller Gardner, equals 73, like ritual sacrifice, 73. Excuse me. Let me take a sip of water. Hold on. All right. So, yeah. It was announced 154 days from the dad's birthday. Ritual sacrifice 154. Ritual sacrifice is also 73. Like the kid's name, Miller Gardner 73 and sacrifice 73. And then let me talk about what KJ Malone brought up. And again, I really don't know why I wasn't going to include this, but it is what it is. Long story short. All right. And yeah, I guess I'll talk about this now. So what is that? His last season with the Yankees, he had a 2.22 average. That's interesting. Brett Gardner's, can I spell? Brett Gardner's last season with Yankees. He retired after the 2021 season. Okay, so they're saying in his last season he had a 2.22 batting average. Well, that's wild. 86 hits, like blood sacrifice and human sacrifice. But anyways, long story short, let's look up the birthday of Brett Gardner. See, his birthday is August 24th, 83, like murder, 83. But yeah, his birthday is August 24th, okay? So if his birthday is August 24th and his son died on March 21st, that means the son died 22 weeks and 2 days before his birthday. And New York, New York equals 222. Like order out of chaos, 222. And you could also say he died 156 days before Brett Gardner's birthday. And New York, New York is also 156. So you got the 222 and the 156. And yeah, interesting that his batting average in his last season was also 222. You know, we talk about that number pretty much every single day. So thank you to KJ Malone for the help on the 222. And also, not only is the son dead at 14, but as you can see, Brett Gardner spent his entire 14-year career with New York. Why does that matter? Well, the word dead equals 14 in simple English gematria, in full reduction gematria, and in Jewish gematria. So 3 different ciphers. Dead equals 14. He's dead at 14 when the dad spent 14 years with the Yankees. And remember, this whole thing's connected to the Yankees, obviously. So, anyways, that's what I got for you for today. If anybody would like to support the channel, here's how you can do so. Any support, very much appreciated. This is my full-time job, and I'm not monetized, so thank you everyone who does support. Very much appreciated. But yeah, the key point here, Miller Gardner 80, Yankees 80, dead on the 80th day of the year. But we'll come back. I'm going to do a quick recap on both of these very quickly, and then we'll wrap it up. All right, Mia Love, first black Republican congresswoman, dies after cancer battle. This article from March 23rd. Long story short, she's dead 107 days from her birthday. Ritual sacrifice 107. Hey, there's Cody. Here, see, this is why we do the recap. When people like Cody and others come in a little bit late, they want a little recap. Now they got it. And guys, be on the lookout. Word on the street is Decoding with Cody has a very big live stream today with a few special guests, including Mr. Rambo. So we'll be on the lookout for that. I think it's going to be at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Right, Cody? Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, in a couple hours, Cody will be live with a big one today, and we'll be there. All right, here we go. So she died 107 days from her birthday. Ritual sacrifice 107. Her name, Ledmaya Love, 130, like human sacrifice 130. Black Republican also has the 130. Yes, Rambo from the Truth Codes at 3 p.m. Eastern. She died in Saratoga Springs, got the 67, like blood sacrifice and human sacrifice, 67. She died 74 months after her last day in office. Killing equals 74. Dead from cancer, allegedly. Cancer, 44. Congress, 44. Kill, 44. Dead 37 weeks and 0 days before her birthday. Congress, 37. Cancer, 37. Died 1 day after Skull and Bones Day, 322. But again, for all we know, she could have died on 322. But, they didn't want to be too obvious, and they announced it the next day. Or, again, maybe she's not even dead and she's moved on to a new character, or she's on the island. Who knows? I do believe ritual sacrifice is a real thing, though. But anyways, Mia Love, 322. We get all these Skull and Bones rituals over the weekend where we had the 322 day. And on top of that, cancer battle equals Skull and Bones and multiple ciphers. And she's got a big beef with Donald Trump, even though she's a Republican. And this beef has been going on for years. And Donald Trump told her one time, it says here, Trump called out Love by name in a news conference the morning after she lost, where he also bashed other Republicans who didn't fully embrace him. Mia Love gave me no love and she lost, Trump said. Too bad, sorry about that, Mia. And now she's dead 83 days before Trump's birthday, like murder equals 83. Cancer battle is 220 and 76, like Donald John Trump, 220, 76. Congresswoman, 185-68. Donald John Trump, 185-68. And Donald J. Trump also has the 68. And she's dead at 49. Donald J. Trump has the 49. Ledmaya Mia Love, 153, 198, like the Illuminati. And Ledmaya Mia Love, 153, 54, 72, like Jesuit order. All right. And then Brett Gardner. Former Yankee star Brett Gardner's 14-year-old son dies after unexpected illness on vacation. All right, so he died on 3/21. They announced it on 3/23. They were dancing around that 3/22 date, but I'm going to show you how it connects to the 3/22. So this one is pretty obvious in my mind. Again, it's a very fishy story. I'm sure you don't know too many people that just went on family vacation with their kids and one of their kids just dropped dead mysteriously, and their dad just happens to be like a super duper celebrity. Anyways, we know what's up on this channel. Miller Gardner equals 80. He died on the 80th day of the year, guys. His dad played his whole career for the Yankees. Yankees equals 80. Like Miller Gardner, 80, dead on the 80th day of the year. That's undeniable. His name was Miller. Miller, 69 and 33. He died on a day with 69 and 33 date numerology. That's what you call murder by numbers. So he died on a day with 33 date numerology. Sun is 33, New York 33, Miller 33, Masonry 33. The highest degree of Masonry, the 33rd degree. And speaking of Freemasonry, Brett Gardner, an outfielder, perfect match. The Freemasons in 3 out of the 4, including the 115, like killing, is 115. Here's your connection to Skull and Bones. The father, Brett Gardner, he's 41 years old. Gardner equals 41. The son died at the age of 14, and Brett Gardner played 14 seasons with the Yankees. When you write out 14 as a word, it equals 41, like Skull and Bones, 41. And remember, he died allegedly one day before Skull and Bones Day, and it was announced one day after Skull and Bones Day. Family Vacation, 61. Skull and Crossbones, 61. Family Vacation, 83. Brotherhood of Death, 83. That's Skull and Bones. And Murder is 83. And here's the big connection to the 322. Look at the highlighted statement from Brett and Jessica Gardner. It says, Brett and Jessica write, Miller was a beloved son and brother. You see how they highlight beloved son and brother, and it equals 322, the number of Skull and Bones. It was announced in the news 154 days from Brett Gardner's birthday. Ritual sacrifice is 154. Ritual sacrifice is also 73, like the guy's name, Miller Gardner, 73. Sacrifice, 73. Then let me jump over here, show you Brett Gardner's birthday is August 24th. And the son died on March 21st, so that was 22 weeks and 2 days from his birthday. From Brett Gardner's birthday, like New York is 222. And in his last season, Brett Gardner had a 222 batting average. That's interesting. And then you could also say, if we go to days, that the son died 156 days from Brett Gardner's birthday. New York is also 156. And the 156th prime number, the 156 prime is 9/11. And didn't 9/11 take place in New York, right? But yeah, got the 156 like New York. Got the 222 like New York. And yeah, the son is dead at the age of 14, and Brett Gardner played 14 seasons with the Yankees. Dead is 14 and 3 ciphers. And if anyone likes to help out the channel, here's how you can do so. Thank you so much to everyone who does help. But yeah, I still think the biggest point here, the 80, Miller Gardner 80, Yankees 80, dead on the 80th day of the year. All right, let me turn this around. All right, guys. Let me make sure I got it all up here. Hey, Cohen. Hey, Jessica. Hey, Effie. Hey, Visionary Vet. KJ Malone. Decoding with Cody. Mike. Charlie, good to see you. Hey, Daniel. All right. Anybody else have anything to add? Anything I missed? Let me know. If not, we'll wrap it up and we'll wait for Decoding with Cody. He'll be on in about 4.5 hours. But yep, 2 more Skull and Bones rituals. Let's see. How many of these rituals lately have been connected to Skull and Bones? Mia Love was connected to Skull and Bones. Brett Gardner was connected to Skull and Bones. The Las Cruces, New Mexico shooting, that had big connections to Skull and Bones. And Cody, I don't know if you saw my live yesterday, but I gave you a big shout out with the connection to the Las Cruces bowling alley massacre. And remember, Las Cruces means the crosses, like skull and crossbones. You'll have to watch the whole decode if you missed it. But this was the big part that Cody found. So we had a mass shooting in Las Cruces, New Mexico. 3 teenagers killed, 15 people injured. And this was in the news on 322. The shooting happened the night before, but it was in the news on 322. Anyways, there was another mass shooting in Las Cruces. It was the Las Cruces Bowling Alley Massacre, happened February 10th, 1990. So, including the end date of the shooting, it happened 1,832 weeks from the last mass shooting, or you could say it was in the news, 1,832 weeks from that mass shooting in Las Cruces. And 1832 just happens to be the year that Skull and Bones was founded. 1832. Isn't that crazy? And then here, I'll just hold it for a second. You'll have to go back, but tons of connections to Skull and Bones. It happened 149 days from the governor's birthday. All the victims were teenagers, 149. Skull and Bones, 149. And we connected it to the governor, Michelle Grisham, 263. You know what? I'll just grab the phone stand at this point. Hold on. Here, if you want to see what my garage looks like, here you go. You got some laundry, got a fan. There's my screen. There you go. Here's a little tour. Okay, here. We'll just give it a proper little recap. So yeah, long story short, we got the big Skull and Bones connection to the governor that I just mentioned. The governor's name, Michelle Grisham, equals Skull and Crossbones. Her name also equals Brotherhood of Death. Her name is 142, like Las Cruces. Las Cruces 61, like Skull and Crossbones. And Las Cruces means the crosses, like, crossbones. And we just went over this, the big 1832 connection. And both of these shootings happened in Donna Ana County, New Mexico. Got the 110, like Las Cruces Bowling Alley Massacre, 110, Skull and Crossbones, 110. And they said this happened 41 miles north of the border. Skull and Bones is 41. Car show shooting, 76, like Skull and Bones, 76. So, anyways, here's a 222. We heard from Mayor Eric Enriquez, 222. We called it a heinous act of violence, 222. New Mexico, 666. The suspect, Thomas Rivas, 38, like killing, death, and murder. So, there's a quick recap on that. So this story happened like days ago, but Fox News decided to run it on 322 about the grandpa being shot at a Houston McDonald's. Why did they run it on 322? Because Houston equals 322, and the guy's name, Jorge Arbeza, 76, like Skull and Bones, 76. Grandpa, 61. He's dead at the age of 61. Skull and Crossbones, 61. Happy Meals, 44. Shooting, 44. He's picking up Happy Meals. Crazy for his grandkids, 109, like shooting, 109. Grandpa equals murder. His last name, Arbeza, equals McDonald's. Happened in Harris County equals Jesuit order. McDonald's equals Freemasonry. McDonald's restaurant, 222. So there's that. And then we had this story. Former U.S. Attorney Jessica Aber, who was appointed by Joe Biden. Look at this. So that's the key point of the story. An unresponsive woman who was appointed by Joe Biden. Look at this. She died on 3/22, Skull and Bones Day. She died 243 days from Biden's birthday. Unresponsive woman, 243, Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., 243. Former U.S. Attorney Jessica Aber, 325, Joseph Robinette Biden, 325. Jessica Diane Aber, 109, Joseph Robinette Biden, 109. Dead on the 81st day of the year, unresponsive woman, 81, President Biden, 81. Biden got 81 million votes. She died in Alexandria, which equals 44 and 64, like Joe Biden and Kill. Attorney equals 3744, like Joe Biden. Dead on Beverly Drive, 152, like Joe Biden, 152. She's dead 62 days. after leaving office, Jessica Diane Aber 62 sacrificed 62. Like, that's pretty crazy. And then, oh, she's got the 38. Jessica Aber 38, killing 38, death 38, murder 38. Here's your Skull and Bones connection. She died in Alexandria, Virginia, 97, like Brotherhood of Death, 97, on 322. A suburb of Washington, D.C., 187, like Brotherhood of Death. Washington, D.C., 61, like Skull and Crossbones. She died 41 months after assuming office. U.S. Attorney, 41. Skull and Bones, 41, like Brett Gardner was 41 years old. Look where she died. Look at the zip code where she died. 22302. Skull and Crossbones, 223. Former U.S. Attorney Jessica Aber, 223. And then all the Masonic connections, dead at 43, killing 43. Like Masonic. Jessica D. Aber equals Freemason. Oh, here's another 222. According to Fox News, she was irreplaceable as a human being. 222. She was found at 9:18 a.m. The Illuminati, 9:18. Jesuit Order, 9:18. Anyways, there's that. Definitely the key point here, the 243. For sure, that is undeniable. Because the whole story is how she was appointed by Joe Biden, right? Unresponsive woman, 243. Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., 243, dead 243 days from Biden's birthday. That's pretty undeniable there. How about Frida Foreman? We discovered this when we were live. The daughter of George Foreman allegedly took herself out on the perfect day. Frida Foreman equals 666. She died 222 days from her birthday. George Foreman equals 222. What are the odds? Donald Trump, satanic Illuminati puppet just like all the rest. If you refuse to see it, then you are as brainwashed, indoctrinated, and clueless as those you call sheep and idiots. Yeah, I agree with that, 100%. Don't forget, Donald Trump is the father of the vaccine. He made the famous calm before the storm statement 888 days before COVID declared a pandemic. Donald J. Trump, 888, The Art of the Deal. 888, the Synagogue of Satan. 888, Beast System. 888, and MAGA, the highest degree of the Church of Satan. Donald Trump announced re-election 666 days after his last full day in office. While Trump was president, COVID was declared a pandemic 666 days after the Cladex pandemic simulation. You think if I know that, you think Donald Trump would know that? Probably. I mean, I'm just some guy in my garage. If I have access to that kind of information, you don't think Donald Trump does too? So, he's got all the top experts in the world, right? You don't think anyone's ever mentioned that to him? Hey, man. Hey, Mr. Father of the Vaccine, it was a total coincidence, but, we declared that pandemic 666 days after pandemic simulation, and the word vaccination equals 666. Isn't that crazy? Anyways, remember, you also don't become president unless you're part of the club, and you don't become a billionaire unless you're part of the club. And if you're one of those people that's like, oh, but the media is all against him, well, you're brainwashed. You're under mind control like I used to be before 2019, and thank God I woke up. Yeah, and then we had George Foreman, one day before Skull and Bones, dead at 76. He had 76 wins, guys. And we connected this to Obama and Trump. Remember, his last fight was at the Taj Mahal, the Trump Taj Mahal. And anyway, this one's too long to go through the whole thing. And then we had that crazy story of the 68 bridges. Remember this one? 1 year after Baltimore bridge collapse, 68 bridges at risk. And we got this news. Remember, I connected that bridge collapse in Baltimore to Obama's movie? Look, we got this news 66 weeks and 6 days from Obama's movie. And here, let me go through this real quick. Remember that bridge collapse in Maryland? It was at 1:28 a.m., 128 days from Francis Scott Key's birthday. It was a Francis Scott Key bridge collapse, 128, Maryland 128, White Lion 128. That's the name of the ship in the movie that lost control, like a cargo ship lost control and hit the bridge. Power Grid 128. The movie came out on 12/8, 128. The bridge went down 128 days from the president's birthday, Joe Biden at the time, President Barack Obama. 128, the ship loses control with 128 minutes left in the movie, and 128 minutes into the movie, there's a bridge collapse. Big Mike and Barack, they were born 128 weeks apart. 68 bridges equals leave the world behind in 2 ciphers. 68 equals power outage in 3 ciphers, the movie about a power outage. 68 bridges, and Barack Obama equals 68. I wonder if that's a coincidence. Antichrist equals 68. This story on a day with 68 date numerology. It was also in the news 68 days from Francis Scott Key's death date. And while we were live, thanks to Cody, we discovered that this also came out 68 days before the anniversary of the Golden Gate Bridge. And the Golden Gate Bridge was the #1 bridge listed out of those 68 bridges that need to be assessed for risk of collapse. So, yeah, this also happened. March 20th was 68 days before the anniversary of the Golden Gate Bridge. We got this story 229 days from Obama's birthday, Barack Obama, 229. The full name of the NTSB, National Transportation Safety Board, 201. Like the son of perdition, Barack Hussein Obama, 201. That old serpent, 201. Event, 201. Oh, my buffering? Let me know. Am I good? Can you guys still hear me? Anyway, 201, big number with the Jesuits. The Jesuit Order, 201. The full name of the Pope, Jorge Mario Bergoglio, 201. Lives in Suite 201. At the Domus Sancti Marte, 201. Ignatius of Loyola, 201. That's the founder of the Jesuit Order. Georgia Guidestones went down 201 days from the Pope's birthday. Guidestones built under the alias R.C. Christian, perfect match to Pope Francis in 3 out of the 4. Only number they're not a perfect match in would be reverse full reduction, where R.C. Christian is 76, like Barack Obama, 76, Skull and Bones, 76. The Guidestones went down on 7/6, the day Skull and Bones member George W. Bush turned 76 years old. The Guidestones opened on 3/22, 1980. 3/22, hey, Skull and Bones. Obama's book, A Promised Land, 76. He got the 76s all over his movie, Leave the World Behind. And you had the massive cell phone outage on 2/22, 76 days after Obama's movie came out. The word cell equals 76. But anyway, back to that 201. You had event 201 on 10/18, like Luke 10/18. I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven. Barack means lightning, bomb of the heights. And 10/18. Don't forget, Obama, the clone of Akhenaten. Akhenaten, the 10th ruler of the 18th dynasty. Akhenaten Obama equals 666. They look identical. The director of Obama's movie, Sam Esmail, his birthday, 10 months and 18 days from Obama's birthday. Brittany Griner with the 10/18 birthday, found guilty and sentenced on Obama's birthday. How many games of basketball did Brittany Griner miss? 474 games. It was days. It was 474 days of basketball. Akhenaten equals 474. Akhenaten, the 10th ruler of the 18th dynasty. Brittany Griner's birthday, 10/18. Remember when Brittany Griner came home and Joe Biden invited her to the big dinner and they gave Brittany Griner a standing ovation at 10:18 p.m.? Remember that? But anyways, Akhenaten 474, Fallen Angel 474, The Phoenix 474. Griner plays for the Phoenix Mercury. Mercury equals Obama. Barack Obama 474, Beast Obama 474. And Event 201 was on 10/18. And then check this out. They just had another pandemic simulation called Preparing for Disease X, which, since we're here, I talk about that all the time, but I never show you guys the gematria. I always say Preparing for Disease X was held 201 days from Obama's birthday and 201 weeks after COVID was declared a pandemic, but I never show you this. preparing for disease X equals 229. All right, preparing for disease X equals 229. Why does that matter? Well, guess what Barack Obama equals? 229. And then let me show you what disease X equals. So not only do we have the big 201 connection, right? Preparing for disease X was held 201 weeks after COVID declared a pandemic and 201 days from Obama's birthday, like event 201 held on 10/18, right? But see how preparing for disease X is 229, like Barack Obama is 229. And then let me show you what disease X equals. So preparing for disease X equals Barack Obama, and disease X equals Barack Obama. And that's on top of the fact that preparing for disease X was 201 days from his birthday and 201 weeks after COVID declared a pandemic. I mean, at what point is it not a coincidence? But yeah, preparing for disease X, 229, Barack Obama, 229, disease X, 32, Barack Obama, 32. And, the story was also ran on the 79th day of the year, like bridge collapse 79. And that Baltimore Key Bridge collapsed 181 years after Francis Scott Key died. Baltimore Key Bridge, 181, like Barack Hussein Obama II, 181, Barack Obama. The bridge collapsed 7 months and 26 days after Francis Scott Key's birthday, 726, pretty big with Obama. President Obama, 726. Fallen Angel Obama, 726. Yes, we can. 726. Affordable Care Act, 726. Birtherism, 726. The King of Babylon, 726. Revelation, 726. And Antichrist, 726. Francis Key equals 666, like Star Spangled Banner, 666. It happened 163 days after the governor's birthday. It collapsed into the Patapsco River, 163, like Barack Hussein Obama, 163. Patapsco River, 64, like Barack Hussein Obama, 64. The Antichrist, 64. Remember when Israel was allegedly attacked 64 days from Obama's birthday, and Israel equals 64? And then for the confirmation, Israel declared war 666 days before Obama's 64th birthday. Yep, gene spliced. President Donald John Trump is also 128. Yep. Then we had that big power outage on Pi Day, Purim, 314. In Cuba, 462 days after Leave the World Behind, when power and Purim are both 462. Happened in Havana, Cuba, 196, 1 year, 96 days after Leave the World Behind. The power outage happened 222 days from Obama's birthday. Whoa. The Antichrist, Barack Obama, 222. The guy who tested positive for COVID, 222 days from his birthday in the year 2022, when Wuhan coronavirus equals 222. Declared a pandemic 222 months from 9/11. First U.S. case, 222 days from Trump's birthday. COVID vaccines, 222. Event 201, 222. World Economic Forum, 222. Mandatory vaccination, 222. Order out of chaos, 222. As above, so below, 222. Beast, 222. The Beast of Revelation, 222. Antichrist system, 222. The Antichrist, Barack Obama, 222. Then we had another power outage in Cuba on 10/18. Like the last, I didn't even mention this earlier with the 10/18s. Obama's movie where they're trying to finish the last episode of Friends. You know what the last episode of Friends is? Season 10, episode 18. 10:18 in Obama's movie. What are the odds? Luke 10:18, and he said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven. Strong's 1300, Barack, lightning. Strong's 1116, Obama, a high place. So Barack Obama means lightning from a high place. Like Luke 10:18, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven. Don't forget all the other connections with Satan and Barack Obama. Don't forget, another name for the devil is dragon. Obama equals dragon in 3 ciphers. Barack Obama equals dragon. We have the whole House of the Dragon connection. With Obama, we talked about with that giant dragon inflatable, 192 up there. 192 days from Leave the World Behind, which is 192, like Obama 192. Like Obama's movie ends in the Commodus bunker, who died in 192. And House of the Dragon equals Barack Hussein Obama II. The dragon was up there 49 days from his birthday. Antichrist 49. The show ended on his birthday. Obama made the joke about the Red Wedding from Game of Thrones. Red Wedding equals that old serpent. The last episode of Friends called The Last One, which equals Power Outage. The movie about a power outage. Here's the director of the movie, Sam Esmail. His birthday, 10 months, 18 days from Obama's birthday. His production company is called Esmail Corp, which equals 666. And, yeah, I don't need to get into too much of this. Got the rumors with Jennifer Aniston, who's from Friends, like Obama's movie is connected to Friends. She was born 192 days after Obama's birthday. Like Leave the World Behind, Great Tribulation, Obama. Movie ends in the Commodus bunker, who died in 192. Trump's inauguration, 192 months from Obama's. Oh, there it is, the giant dragon inflatable, 192. 192 days from Leave the World Behind. And it ended on Obama's birthday. And House of the Dragon equals Barack Hussein Obama II. Hey, everything I just said off the top of my head. And Dragon equals Obama, including the 103. Remember when Eminem was with Obama in Michigan 103 days after Eminem released the song Antichrist, and the first part of the song says the devil came to Michigan. They were together in Michigan 103 days after Antichrist was released by Eminem, when Eminem equals 103 and Obama equals 103, like Dragon is 103, all in the same cipher. I wonder if that was another coincidence. Barack Obama, 32, Dragon, 32. The Dragon was in New York, 666, 49 days before Obama's birthday. Antichrist and Revelation, 49. Red Wedding, 177, like that old serpent, New World Order. We had the first Super Bowl after Obama's movie came out. The first Super Bowl after Leave the World Behind, which was all connected to that movie. The guy who caught the game winner, he blacked out, like the movie's about a blackout. The guy who caught the game winner, Carry Me Cole Hardman Jr., 192, like Super Bowl 58, 192. Usher Raymond IV, 192. That was halftime. Great Tribulation, Leave the World Behind, Obama, they're all 192. What if I told you that Super Bowl was 192 days from Obama's birthday? And here you go. Chiefs Mecole Hardman admits he blacked out during touchdown to win Super Bowl 58. Obama's movie about a blackout. How could anybody call this a coincidence? So he goes by Mecole Hardman, but his real name is Kerry Hardman, which equals 666. And what are the odds that the year he caught the game winner in 2024, that his birthday was 222 days from Obama's birthday? I mean, just confirmation after confirmation. And then Mecole Hardman also has the 68, like Antichrist, B system, Barack Obama, like that 68 Bridges article. The last episode of Friends, which the little girl's trying to finish in the Commodus bunker, is called The Last One, which equals Power Outage, and it's also Season 10, Episode 18. And here's the name of the ship in the movie about the power grid going down. White Lion just happens to be a perfect match to a power grid in 3 ciphers. Alright, I think that's enough recap. But yeah, can you believe we got this story about the 68 bridges, 66 weeks, and 6 days from Obama's movie when I connected the whole thing to Obama's movie? What a confirmation. And on top of all that, 68 bridges equals Leave the World Behind. 68 equals power outage, and it was 68 bridges when Barack Obama equals 68, Antichrist 68, on a day with 68 date numerology, 68 days from Francis Scott Key's death anniversary, and it was 68 days from the anniversary of the Golden Gate Bridge, and the number one bridge listed on the list was the Golden Gate Bridge being at risk for collapse. So anyways, I think that's it. All right, let me turn this back around. Man, we were going to end this like 30 minutes ago, and then we just started going crazy. Yep, Obama 192 in Sumerian. Yep. All right, well, you got some fun facts today. All right, let me check in with the chat before we wrap it up. Much love to Gene Splice, Stephen, Cohen, Jessica, Visionary Vet, Colin, Decoding with Cody, KJ Malone, Robin. If you guys came in late, make sure you go back and rewatch it. You know, when you really think about it, and not trying to pat myself on the back, all credit goes to God. But when you really sit down and think about how many facts I drop in like an hour-long live stream, especially like this one, I mean, think about it. I just dropped hundreds of pieces of information that are all undeniable. I mean, when you stack it up over, 5 years and 10,000 videos and 14 channels deleted, ask yourself, why would they keep deleting a person's channel for saying, hey, this equals this? It makes no sense unless somebody was onto something, right? So, anyways, all credit to God. It's just amazing that, this gematria community, or the truth community as a whole, is still very small, and even people who are in the truth community, they don't want to hear this. For example, when George Foreman died, I'm friends with, a lot of truthers and conspiracy people on Facebook. Half my feed was pictures and videos of George Foreman getting the vaccine. All right? So half the truth community thinks the vaccine killed George Foreman on the perfect day at the perfect age, right? Remember, he died at 76, the day before Skull and Bones Day, Skull and Bones 76. He had 76 wins and a million other things that proved it was a ritual. And then, okay, let's say, whatever. Let's say George Foreman did die from the vaccine. How about his daughter, who died 222 days from her birthday when George Foreman equals 222? See, they won't even watch the video and get to that part because, oh no, I'm convinced he died from the vaccine. You got to remember, guys, just because there's video and pictures of these celebrities allegedly taking the jabberoo, I don't want to say the V word too much. You got to remember, just because there's picture and video doesn't mean they actually did it. All right, they could be shooting saline in there or whatever. Okay, you think pretty much, right? Pretty much every celebrity took a picture or a video of them getting it or their vaccine card, right? You think every single celebrity actually really went and got it? No, because most of them would be dead, right? You think Joe Biden actually took it? You think Donald Trump actually took it? You think Barack Obama actually took it? So don't sit there and say, oh, George Foreman definitely took it because I saw it on video. All the world's a stage, all right? George Foreman been part of the club for a long time. And then I hear other people, oh, but George Foreman was a preacher. How many false teachers and preachers are out there? Stephen Furtick. Look at him. I don't want to go through the list of all, but that's just one of them that I can confidently say is a false teacher. Stephen Furtick from Elevation Church. And believe it or not, I used to attend Elevation Church watch parties back in like 2018, 2019, right before I woke up. I've always been a church person. I grew up in church, went to Sunday school. I believed in Jesus from birth. I was born into it. But I wasn't really born again until 2019. Up until 2019, I still voted, and I was a Donald Trump supporter. I was a season ticket holder for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I bought and sold memorabilia for a living before I did YouTube. So I was real big into the idolatry, but thank God he woke me up. And anyways, I forget where I was even going with that story now. It don't matter. I was about to wrap it up. But yeah, Donald Trump did not take it. And dang, I wish I could remember what I was about to say. It don't matter. I was going to say something, though. Forget it. Long story short, Trump's part of the club. He's a bad guy. And the news is by the numbers. And just because you saw somebody take it. Here's the other thing. People act like ritual sacrifice just went away, right? And I'm sure, I haven't looked much on social media today, but I'm sure a lot of my conspiracy friends, they're probably like, oh, I bet the son took the vaccine. The 14-year-old son of Brett Gardner, that's probably what they're saying. Oh, he obviously took the vaccine. That's why he died suddenly. That's all they need to see. I used to say, call them baby truthers or diet woke, but that's not nice because, at one point we were all completely asleep. And, I think I kind of remember what I was saying. How I grew up in church. Oh, I was talking about elevation. Yeah, elevation watch parties. Yeah, until I had my awakening, I was at these elevation watch parties. Like one person in the group would, it'd be Sunday morning, and you basically watch the stream from like Elevation Church headquarters. And yeah, Stephen Furtick, he's like a hype man, but his teaching is so far off, and so are a lot of other people. But yeah, anyways, my point was, I didn't just start getting into Jesus and the Bible with Elevation Church. I grew up in it. I went to church every Sunday growing up, and then when I lived with my grandma from 13 to 18 years old, we went to church every Sunday. I went to Christian summer camp growing up. I was born in St. Petersburg, Florida, but I grew up in Vero Beach, Florida. I lived in Vero from 7 years old to 18. And from the age of like 7 to 12, I went to this Christian summer camp called Life for Youth Ranch. And I went there every summer, all summer. And I even did the overnight camp a couple times. That's where I officially gave my life to Jesus when I was 10 years old. I did an overnight camp at Life for Youth Ranch, and where you stay like all week and then you go home on the weekend. And they did an altar call, and I'll never forget it. It was a crazy experience, man. They had this speaker, this preacher, and he was speaking to a room of kids. We were all, ages, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And it was like the most powerful sermon ever. I'm telling you guys, I was like 10 years old. The whole room of children, we were in tears. Like, I forget what he said, but it must have been impactful because a whole room of us boys was in tears. And they did an altar call, and I went up there and gave my life to Jesus. But I'd already believed in Jesus before then. But that was like my official, commitment there. But then even between, 10 years old and when I had my awakening in 2019, I was putting the world first. Like I said, I was into the NFL and idolatry. I was celebrating Easter and Christmas and Halloween and watching bad movies, and I was drinking a lot, and I don't drink anymore at all. I mean, I can't even tell you the last time I had a drink. I'm not saying if I was ever with like friends and family at a get together, a celebration, I might have maybe one drink with the family. I'm not saying I'll never do that, but it's just not something I'm into. But I used to be really bad, believe it or not, especially after my grandma died in 2017, who raised me. There was about a year to a year and a half span, guys, where I drank pretty much a case of beer every night. I used to drink Michelob Ultra before I switched to vodka. And yeah, there was a point where I was drinking like anywhere from, I think I was getting the case of 18. I think that's what I was getting. But it was around about 18 beers a night I was drinking. and then it switched to vodka, and yeah, it got pretty bad. But thank God for getting me through that. And that was all before my awakening happened in 2019. Long story short, in 2019 I got in a car crash, and it was a pretty bad one. I just bought this car, same car I got now. It's an older car. It's 20 years old, but it's an old Cadillac Escalade from 2004, and I think I paid like $5,000 cash for it when I got it back in 2019, and I was all excited about this car. And I had a bad problem with materialism back then, and just like I used to have 2 rooms full of idolatry, Buccaneers memorabilia everywhere, and I was just a very materialistic person back then. I cared a lot about money and all that stuff. And anyways, it was like 2 months after I just bought this car outright with cash, and I was going to visit my dad in jail, and he's passed on now, unfortunately. But I was actually going to surprise my dad, who was doing a 7-year sentence in prison. And long story short, it was raining, and the cars in front of me hit their brakes. I tried to hit my brakes and stop. I couldn't stop, and I was going forward, and it was either I was in the far left lane, so it was either crash into the person in front of me, veer to the right and hit a bunch of people that way, or veer to the left and go into the grass and the woods. And that's what happened, and thank God. It could have been so much worse. Guys, I tell you the truth, I hit the woods going about 50 miles per hour through the woods. I must have drove through 20 feet of woods with trees all around me, but I was okay. Sorry, guys. Oh, man. Well, I didn't expect to cry today. But, man. God is so good. God is so good. But yeah, that day pretty much changed my life. So after that car crash, I basically spent over a month mad at God. And I was, just so angry at God because I just bought the car and I had this, I was living for the world, you know. And all I could think about is, oh, why did you do this to me? You know? And, I even blame my dad because I was going to surprise him, but then a bad thing happened and I tried to turn it around on him. And, I said something like, if you weren't in prison, I wouldn't have even been on the road to go see you. So, it's your fault, But we got past that, and, that was in 2019. He just died back in August. So we got past that and everything. But yeah, I spent about a month just mad at God, saying, why did this happen? Haven't I been through enough in my life? Because I was raised, my parents lost custody of me when I was 7. And then I lived with my aunt from 7 to 10. And then I lived with a grandpa from 10 to 12. And then I turned 13 in foster care. I went to 4 foster homes, and I went to my grandma. And my parents had drug problems growing up. So, anyways, that was like my breaking point, right? And I was also still drinking heavily around that time. So anyways, after spending about a month just mad at God, I basically reached like a bottom point where I was like so just desperate for God's help that and even though I've been a Christian my whole life, I just, I wasn't living right. So after hitting rock bottom, I just cried out to God. I said, it helped me. Just take away this materialism, take away this materialism, this idolatry, my depression, anxiety, and he did. And it was, I'm telling you the truth, as soon as I said that prayer in 2019, it was August of 2019, and ever since that day, you just wouldn't believe it, man. So when I said that prayer that day, I had this like a flash of light, like in my head. It was literally like prison walls came down. It was like a flash of light. And something told me to just start writing down thoughts. And this is in late 2019. And I started writing down all my thoughts of, we're in the end times. Jesus is coming soon. This is it. God's telling me to warn the people. Like all these like prophetic things, right? And if we go back to when I was 10 years old, I had a dream when I was living with my grandpa. And in the dream, Jesus baptized me in a river in the dream, and he brought me up out of the water, and he said, prepare them. All right, so that's when I was 10. And then also my last name is Acquaviva, which means water of life, which is pretty biblical. And anyways, in 2019, I said that sincere prayer of repentance, and I started writing down all this stuff that I'm like, I know something's coming. Like God is telling me, like I felt like I was activated. Like this is the time to warn the people, right? And somehow, some way, all of a sudden, after a couple days after that prayer, I started seeing the number 222 everywhere. And I couldn't figure out why. And I started telling my friends and family, and I don't blame them, but most of my friends and family distanced themselves from me at that point. Before COVID, when I told them something's coming, God has shown me, this is so hard, God has shown me 222 everywhere, and everyone thought I was completely nuts. Now here we are, over 5 years later, and we talk about 222 every single day. And literally just months after my awakening, everybody heard about Wuhan coronavirus, 222. And then it was declared a pandemic, 222 months from 9/11. And that was right after the first U.S. case of COVID was 222 days from Trump's birthday. And Trump equals 222. By the way, Trump just won the election 222 days from his birthday. And then Obama would go on to test positive 222 days from his birthday. But remember, the 222 is also a good number. And you got Daniel 2:22 about the deep and hidden things. You got Acts 2:22, which is the only verse with the three words miracles, signs, and wonders. It's Acts 2:22. The first verse of the Bible, Genesis 1:1. The first verse of the Bible equals 222. Strong's 222, Flame of God. Jesus, the Lion of Judah, equals 222. Key to the Universe, 222. Key to the Apocalypse equals 222. Hidden Codes equals 222. Armageddon equals 222. You Must Be Born Again equals 222. And it's really mind-blowing that this all started totally organically. That's the difference between me and, I don't want to call anybody out, but, other people that, all they focus on is like sports and sports betting and all that. They weren't called by God to do this. Like, God didn't supernaturally put a number in their life right after they, like, sincerely made a prayer of repentance for God to change their life. I literally prayed for God to change my life, and He immediately started showing me the number 222. And then once I learned, I had no idea about anything before, guys. I didn't even know what fluoride was. I didn't know we had a pineal gland. I didn't know anything about anything. I thought I did. I thought I was real smart. I thought Donald Trump was the truth. How silly I was. But I learned so much so fast, and I just saw the whole world in a different way. And it's just amazing. It's amazing what God did in my life. So, sorry I broke down on you. If you have a testimony yourself, then sometimes trying to tell your testimony when it's real can really bring up some emotions. So, anyway, that was unexpected. Sorry about that, but I'm sure some people enjoyed the authenticity. But yeah, it's all true. That's how it went down for me. God changed my life in 2019, and I've never been the same. And I never will be the same. Once you take the red pill, right? No going back. Well, let me say hi to the chat. Hey, Stephen, Cohen, Mike, John, Vet, ZRG, Jeffrey, Bonnie, Elena, Cody, Misha, Ken. Much love to everyone. But yeah, guys, God's been working in my life for a long time. I have to believe it's all for a reason. By the way, messenger chosen by God is also 222. Just saying. So, I'm not anybody special, but I do consider myself a type of messenger, end times messenger. Messenger chosen by God. 222, yep. And my message is very simple. We're living in the biblical end of days. The beast system is here, clearly. That's, the main focus of my channel. And you know why I focus on the beast system and evil? Number one, because Ephesians 5:11 says we're supposed to expose evil. Also, Revelation 13:18 says we can calculate the number of the beast if we have wisdom. But also, if I can mathematically prove to you guys that the beast system is here and the Antichrist is here, and whether you want to believe that's Obama or Trump, I mean, I've proven that they're both Antichrist. So, it doesn't matter at the end of the day who the Antichrist is, but the whole reason I do what I do, to show you guys that we live in the beast system. Everything we're being told is a lie. If the beast system is here and the Antichrist is here, that means we are very close to the return of Jesus Christ, which is the whole reason I do my channel. So that you can wake up, that you're not taken by the fake news, and hopefully you can learn this and wake other people up, because this information, not every single thing I share is very impactful, but some of this stuff, I mean, I have to believe that some of my videos actually saved a couple lives, especially during the lockdowns, when I showed people for years that COVID was declared a pandemic 666 days after a pandemic simulation and vaccination equals 666. I'm sure that scared a couple people to not go get it, and that was a good decision. And then you take that date, March 11th, 2020, right? Not only is that date 666 days from a pandemic simulation, it was also 222 months from 9/11. Wuhan coronavirus equals 222. March 11th, 2020 was also 888 days after Trump's calm before the storm statement. Donald J. Trump is 888. So I connected COVID to the pandemic simulation, Donald Trump's before the storm statement, and 9/11. All right? All to one date, you know? And so many of our decodes are just so obvious. Like the Trump shooting on the 195th day of the year, when Trump shooting is 195, Corey Comparator 195. Or the Trump shooting was 666 days from when Kimberly Cheadle assumed office as Secret Service Director. Like, that's like valuable, solid information that should tell you, okay, what happened in Butler was obviously staged, right? And that way you're not being, swayed by the media. I'm literally proving that the media lies. And, information like this basically will change your whole worldview. Once you realize that the movies are coded, the politics are coded, the news is coded, the sports are coded, everything is coded and fake. Like, your whole view on reality just changes. And then when you realize that Satan is the lowercase god of this world, and Jesus is real, and he really did come here, and that's why they hate him and mock him all the time, and I see people all the time, they'll say, this gematria stuff, it's all meaningless, it's a distraction, it's not important. You couldn't be more wrong. It's very, very important. The Bible is all about numbers. Why does the Bible tell us to calculate the number of the beast? How are you going to do that without adding up the numerical value of letters? By the way, the verse says, here is wisdom, let he that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for as the number of a man is number 666. Number of a man, Barack Obama, equals 666. If you add up the 4 base ciphers of Barack Hussein Obama, it equals 666. And a million other connections. Obama chef found dead 6 years, 6 months, 6 days after Obama's last day in office. Remember Obama's 60th birthday party, where Obama.org asked people to chip in either $600, $60, or $6? Remember that one? Akhenaten Obama equals 666. He's a clone of Akhenaten. They say he was born in Hawaii. Hawaii equals 666. He was born on the 216th day of the year. 6 times 6 times 6, 216. Obama's birthday, the day leaving 149 days left in the year. Antichrist is 149. And Big Mike. Big Mike's mom just died recently. If you go back 666 days before she died, you land on Barack Obama's birthday. And then earlier, I was talking about the connections with Obama to Satan. I don't think I finished my point. That just came into my head. Not only does Obama equal dragon, and then the Luke 10:18 connection, that old serpent 201, like the son of perdition, Barack Hussein Obama 201, preparing for disease X, 201 days from his birthday, and 201 weeks from COVID declared a pandemic. But also, 2 other things to mention. Obama's slogan, yes we can. When you hear it backwards, you'll hear thank you Satan. And when Obama announced he was running for president, he was 45 years, 6 months, and 6 days old. Strong's 4566 is Satan. Alright? So, I think Obama's the guy, but, whether he's the guy or maybe he's playing the role of Satan and Trump is actually the Antichrist, we'll find out. I really do believe it's one of them two. If it's not Trump, it's Obama. If it's not Obama, it's Trump. And they work together. They're like a two-headed snake. And then you got the false prophet in there somewhere, who I still think is the Pope. I think it's Pope Francis. But and the main reason I think it's the Pope, because the Georgia Guidestones were connected to Pope Francis and Barack Obama from the jump, going back to 3/22/1980. They've been doing rituals. The earliest I can find with the Pope and Obama together was the Guidestones, 3/22/1980. And I'll make this my last point, and then I'll wrap it up. But long story short, the Guidestones were 231 inches tall. The first rule of the Guidestones equals 231. Maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature, 231. The Guidestones were 231 inches tall. The Guidestones opened 231 days from Barack Obama's birthday. Okay? There was another pandemic simulation called Catastrophic Contagion, which equaled 231. That was held 231 weeks from the Clade X pandemic simulation. Yep, that's what I was talking about, Gene Spiced. Yep, for his 60th birthday. Yep. And then, what was I saying? Oh, the Guidestones. Guidestones were 231 inches tall. They opened 231 days from Obama's birthday. The first rule of the Guidestones equals 231. They had a pandemic simulation, Catastrophic Contagion. 231, it was held 231 weeks from Clade X. They declared monkeypox outbreak 231 weeks after COVID was declared a pandemic, and monkeypox outbreak equals 231. The Guidestones were in Elberton, Georgia. Elberton, 44, Georgia, 44, Obama number 44, Barack means lightning, lightning 44, fallen angel 44. Remember the lightning strike at the White House on Obama's birthday that killed the elderly couple from Wisconsin? Wisconsin had the 44 also. Anyways, you got the 44 connection. The Guidestones went down on 7/6. Barack Obama equals 76. Obama's book, A Promised Land, equals 76. You got the 76s all over Obama's movie. We had the cell phone outage, 76 days after Obama's movie. The blackout starts with the cell phones acting up. And by the way, the cell phone outage was on 2/22. But anyways, they went down on 7/6. Barack Obama equals 76. The Guidestones were built under the alias RC Christian. RC Christian equals 76 in the same cipher as Skull and Bones, 76. Member of Skull and Bones, George W. Bush turned 76 years old the day the Guidestones went down on 7/6. And Skull and Bones equals 76. When did the Guidestones open? On 3/22/1980. 322 is the number of Skull and Bones. Also, you got the 153 connection, which connects to Obama and Bush, because the Guidestones were in Elberton, Georgia, which equals 153. Antichrist Obama, 153. Barry Soetoro, 153. The Illuminati, 153. Jesuit Order, 153. How does the 153 connect to Bush? In the classroom on 9/11, they were reading The Pet Goat, which equals 153. The Pet Goat was located on page 153 of Reading Mastery 2. And by the way, Heliofont equals 153. That's the makers of iPetGoat 2. Last year, Heliofont took down iPetGoat 2. They put it back up 153 days later. So The Pet Goat is 153. It was on page 153 of Reading Mastery 2. Reading Mastery 2 is 177. George Walker Bush, 177. The Jesuit Order, 177. And New World Order, 177. And then back to the Pope. The Guidestones are built under the alias RC Christian. Here, I'll just show you this one. RC Christian is a perfect match to Pope Francis and 3 out of the 4. And the confirmation was when the Guidestones went down 201 days from the Pope's birthday. And that's the name of the Pope, equals 201. Jorge Mario Bergoglio, 201. He lives in Suite 201 at the Domus Sancti Marte, 201. Event, 201. Catholic Pope equals 201. The Jesuit Order, 201. That Old Serpent, 201. You really think it's a coincidence that they had a pandemic simulation called Preparing for Disease X 201 weeks after COVID declared a pandemic? But anyways, don't forget the main sponsor of Event 201, William Henry Gates, equals 201. Look, the Guidestones are built under the alias R.C. Christian, perfect match to Pope Francis in 3 ciphers. So you take that fact with the fact that the Guidestones went down 201 days from the Pope's birthday, and the Pope's name equals 201, you know, it's pretty undeniable. I think that was actually my most viewed decode ever, back when they let me get a couple views. But yeah, after the Guidestones, I think my decode got like 22,000 views. But yeah, that was the best I ever got, 22,000. And then when we were doing the Leave the World Behind decodes, a couple of them did pretty good. One got like 15,000, 12,000, 10,000. I had a short one time. It was a short about graphene. It got 80,000 views, but it wasn't a decode. It was just something I recorded. But yeah, the best decode I ever did that got the most views was the Georgia Guidestones one, way back when. Bonnie says, what stinks is I tried to tell my family about numbers and they look at me like I'm nuts, even though they are reborn in Jesus. Yep, that's how it goes. You got to start with the date durations. You just got to be like, hey, you know, pandemic simulation, May 15th, 2018, called Clade X. Look it up, it's a real thing. Declared a pandemic, March 11th, 2020. 666 days later. Is that a coincidence? Or show them that Donald Trump announced re-election 666 days after his last full day in office. And then if you want to give him some gematria, start with the full name of NASA. National Aeronautics and Space Administration equals 666. I would just stick to the 666 as long as you can with the date durations, and then stick with the 666 gematria. You could show them the fallen angels equals 666 in gematria, witchcraft equals 666, computer equals 666. Tell them the first Apple computer sold for $666.66, and the Apple logo is a fruit, you know, an apple with the bite taken out of it, kind of like the forbidden fruit, Adam and Eve thing, you know. Give them some of that. But yeah, don't start with the 201s or anything. Hit them with the biblical numbers. Although 201 is a biblical number. But yeah. Let's see. Yeah, the Holy Bible equals 201. So yeah, 201 is a biblical number. But remember, there are no bad numbers. And, you know, numbers have different meanings. It all depends how it's used, you know. I can tell you one thing, God certainly speaks through numbers. And that's how it happened for me. If you're a person that sees numbers, see, people see different numbers, so do I. It's not just the 222. But if you're seeing numbers, there's a reason. And a lot of people see 444. Jesus is 444. Messiah, 444. Cross, 444. Gospel is 444. I think the second coming is 444 in Jewish. Yeah, the second coming, 444. I also see 726, which is the harpazo number. Strong 726, harpazo, Rapture. I don't know where we're at on the timeline. And, I can't tell you when the rapture is, if it's pre-tribulation, mid-tribulation, post-tribulation. I can tell you my thoughts. Part of me, not all of me, but part of me thinks we're in the tribulation right now. It already started. And that's why Matthew 24 says, after the tribulation of those days. Does that necessarily mean we have to go through the great tribulation? Right? But it does say after the tribulation of those days. Maybe we got to go through a little bit, maybe half of it, and then that's when the rapture happens. And I do believe in a physical rapture. 1 Thessalonians 4:16. Here, let me just bring up the whole chapter here. See, Matthew 24 says, after the tribulation of those days, but it also says it'll be like the days of Noah. By the way, the days of Noah is 846, tribulation 846. The fallen angels 846. The first tower was hit at 8:46 a.m. George Floyd, 8 minutes 46 seconds, and the verse about the synagogue of Satan equals 8:46. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie, equals 8:46. But anyways, Matthew 24 says, after the tribulation of those days, but it also says it'll be like the days of Noah. People will be eating, drinking, giving in marriage. In other words, they're going to be caught off guard. And my question is, how many people are going to be caught off guard after everyone's had their heads chopped off? You know what I mean? Also, we're not appointed to wrath, and pray always that you're worthy to escape these things and stand before the Son of Man. I will keep you from the hour of trial. All these things, making ourselves ready, having the oil, being a wise virgin, all that stuff, right? All points to a departure in my mind. So, here's the rapture verse for people that think there's no physical, oh, you're not going to go meet the Lord in the air. There's no physical rapture. Well, the Bible says there is. So 1 Thessalonians 4:16 says, for the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of God, and the dead in Christ shall rise first. Then we, which are alive and remain, shall be caught up, there you go, harpazo, caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. So that's very, physical, real, we're going to be caught up together in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. And so shall we ever be with the Lord. So, the debate is, when is that going to happen? Some people think it's pre-tribulation. Some people think it's like in the middle, which is where I kind of lean towards these days, that maybe we're in the tribulation a little bit, but not like the second half. And maybe that's why Matthew 24 says after the tribulation of those days. Maybe we got to go through a little bit of the tribulation of those days. I don't know. That's why, I don't talk about it too much, because I'm definitely not an expert on the rapture. I don't know if anybody really is, considering people are pretty much divided, even if there is a rapture. And then the people that do believe in a rapture, they're like, well, it's pre, it's mid, it's post, and I don't like to argue about all that stuff, so I don't talk about it too much. But yeah, I do believe in a rapture, and if I had to say where it's at, I would say somewhere in the tribulation. But I could be 100% wrong. But I don't lean towards where we got to go through the whole tribulation, we got to have our heads chopped off and all that. Although, if that's the case, totally fine with it. Like, they could literally knock on the door today, say, hey, your time's up, you got to come out in the street, we're going to chop your head off for Jesus. I'll be like, all right, let's go. So, it's not a fear thing. And a lot of people use that. They're like, oh, you just want to escape, you just want to get out of here. Well, of course, people want to get out of here, but it's not like it's not a fear thing. Like, I'm not afraid of having my head chopped off or dying for Jesus. Absolutely not. So, hey, what do you guys think? Let me know. Let's take a little poll without posting a poll. Just go ahead, put it in the chat. Do you think it's pre-tribulation, mid-tribulation, or post at the end. So far, we got one. Sage Mo said they think it's mid-tribulation. Anybody else want to put it out there? Don't be afraid. We won't bash you or anything. And the host of the video was saying, I don't know. So don't be afraid. I'm just interested to see what you think. Leslie says pre-trib. Jessica says none, that we're in Satan's little season. See, that's a whole nother argument that people have. And I don't agree with that, because I don't think we've seen the millennial reign. I don't think we've seen 1,000 years of peace. And also, King Nico made a good point about graven images and how we still have all these statues and stuff. And how he doesn't think if, we've already had 1,000 years of peace and a millennial reign and all that would have been gone and over with. All these old statues and stuff of like fallen angels. But no, I respect your opinion, but I personally do not think we're in Satan's little season. But yeah, and then Nico, he's talked about Tartarian, the mud flood, but he says that was actually Noah's flood, all that. So everyone's got all their different angles, and it's just awesome, everybody trying to dig deep and find out the truth, because I don't think any of us got it all figured out. Not one truther or preacher or watchman or whatever you want to call us. None of us have it all figured out, All right, let's see. Trish said mid. Right? Ken said the church does not see the tribulation. Bonnie said pre-trib. Steven said no clue. I respect that, because I have no clue either. This is all I know. We're in the end times. The beast system is here. Jesus is coming soon, and the sooner the better. That's all I know. Veronica said pre-trib. Visionary Vet also said Satan's little season. Leslie pre-trib. Raven said mid. Ken said pre. Compost said mid. I didn't see anyone say post yet. But anyways, I was just curious what you guys think. I certainly hope we're not in Satan's little season. That would be that'd be horrible. Man. No. Also, you know why I really don't think we're in Satan's little season? Because of what God has done in my life personally. By telling me as a 10-year-old to prepare them, by giving me the last name, Water of Life, by showing me 222 everywhere, by completely changing my life and having everything unfold the way it has. It looks to me like we're in the book of Revelation right at the end, right before Jesus comes, and he's like pouring out his spirit, and people like me and Adam the Illusion and Brother Todd Rushton and all kinds of great people are warning people to get ready. That's what it feels like to me. Like if we were in Satan's little season, why has God been working with me like this to warn the people that Jesus is coming, And not just me, a lot of other people. All right, guys. Well, it's been a very different show today. If you got here late, if you're just coming in, about 45 minutes ago, I broke down in tears for about 20 minutes. So if you want to see that, go back and check that out. They were happy tears. Just they were God is good tears. God's been so good to me, and sometimes you're just overwhelmed with God's goodness, and you gotta let a few tears out. But anyways, guys, it's been a crazy show. 2 decodes, a testimony, some recaps, some Rapture talk. What a show, huh? Yeah, if you came in late, you want to go back and rewatch this one. Wow, we've been on like 2 hours. All right, I'm going to have to wrap this up. Don't want it to be a 3-hour video. Oh, yeah, Bonnie. That spiritual warfare is off the charts. That's another great point, Bonnie. Not just you and me, but so many people. I see so many people saying how the spiritual warfare is just getting more and more off the charts. And wouldn't you expect that as we're getting closer and closer to the end? You know, it's probably going to get a little more intense every single day. You know, the birth pangs. So, yeah, I think it's coming soon. The sooner the better. You know, I'm available in 2025. If Jesus wants to come get us this year, not saying that's going to happen, but wouldn't that be nice? Either that, or let's get this show on the road, right? Let's get this ball rolling. If we're not going to get raptured, well, let's do this war, or, you know, whatever we're going to do. You know, the revolution or whatever's going to happen here in the Hunger Games United States. Let's get it going. You know, feels like COVID was about 25 years ago now. Doesn't it feel like everybody went back to sleep? Like, there was like an anticipation when we had the lockdowns and you'd go into a grocery store and, at least in my case, I'd be the only dude in there without a face mask. And you kind of felt, every day when you left the house, it was almost like you were in a end times movie. That's the way I felt. From like 2020, 2021, and 2022, like, you'd go out without a mask and people would look at you like you're crazy and you'd be like, oh man, Jesus has got to be coming any day now. This is like full-blown end times, right? But then the lockdowns ended, and then they put everyone back to sleep, and they gave them some stimulus, and now Donald Trump, Mr. Vax Daddy, is back in there, and everyone's just back asleep. Oh, we're saved now. He's holding back the New World Order. Yeah, the father of the vaccine is holding back the New World Order. He couldn't possibly be part of the club. You know, like your votes counted for anything. Didn't they tell you Joe Biden got more votes than Donald Trump? Like, yeah, we believe that. Not one Biden bumper sticker or yard sign anywhere. But, oh, they were telling the truth on this one. And, yeah, Trump's really a good guy. You know, he doesn't have a favorite Bible verse, can't quote anything from the Bible. And, you know, he says he has never asked God for forgiveness, and, you know, he rolled out Operation Warp Speed and encouraged everyone to go get it, and MAGA is the highest degree of the Church of Satan, and he made, you know, the calm before the storm statement 888 days before COVID, and announced re-election 666 days after his last full day in office, and he's the guy with the snake poem who said, you knew damn well I was a snake before you took me in. And he talks about grabbing women by the you-know-what, but hey, he's total righteous man of God, holding back the New World Order. And the fact that he's a billionaire and you can't become a billionaire unless you're part of the club, well, in his case, there's definitely an exception because God chose him. And, you know, it's impossible that he could be working with Obama, even though at Jimmy Carter's funeral they were like best friends, and then he lied to everyone and said he was going to drain the swamp and he was going to lock her up, but nobody got locked up and nothing ever changes. And the Epstein files were a total lie and the JFK files was a total nothing burger. And every single indictment he's ever been a part of was all by the numbers. And the shooting in Butler was totally staged. And every single thing Trump does is by the numbers or a lie, you know. But yeah, Trump's keeping us safe from the New World Order. And this coming from a former very patriotic person. By the way, let me make sure this is correct. You know, patriotic equals 666, like Star Spangled Banner, like U.S. of America. U.S. of America. 666, Babylon. U.S. 666, New York equals 666, Star Spangled Banner 666, America founded in 1776, like the Illuminati, 1776. And thank God for, getting me out of my idolatry for America, because not only did I have idolatry for Donald Trump and materialism and sports and being a season ticket holder, I was full-blown MAGA. You want to hear a really sad but kind of funny story? And thank God I'll be getting a new body soon. So will you. I was such a big Donald Trump supporter. First of all, if you're new to the channel, thank God for waking me up in 2019. I voted for Trump in 2016. And I went to 5 Trump rallies. I was in the front row for 4 of them. And believe it or not, I was actually about 2 feet away from Donald Trump back in 2016. Or, let's see, the election was in 2016. Whatever it was, 2015, 2016, he was doing all the rallies. And I was about 2 feet away from Donald Trump. And what was I going to say? Oh, I was such a big MAGA guy, and, he got my, because I was brainwashed and under mind control, that he got my patriotic juices flowing. And I'm like, oh, this guy believes in Jesus, and we're going to make America great again, and we're going to be a prosperous nation. We're going to put God first and all this stuff, right? So you know what I did? Because I was so, patriotic, I went down to the tattoo shop, and I got myself an American flag tattooed on my arm that says, "We the people," right? And now I can't stand the American flag, or any flags, right? God doesn't, countries, borders, flags, it's all idolatry. Anyway, let me show you my horrible mistake. Here. See it? Right there. We the people. And it was Donald Trump who inspired me to get this. Yep. I was such a big Trump fan and so patriotic. I just wanted to show off my patriotism on my arm, Wish I never had any tattoos. Yeah, don't get any tattoos. You'll regret it. And but yeah, God forgives me. I asked for forgiveness, and I know I'm forgiven for getting that tattoo. No more tattoos ever again in my life. And thank God I will be getting a new body in heaven that will not have an American flag on it. That'll be a great day. But yeah, that just, it's sad, it's funny, but it's also part of the testimony, right? That I was so far into my idolatry for a flag that I would put it on my body. But look what God's done in my life to, like I said, I used to have two rooms full of Buccaneers memorabilia. I used to sell memorabilia for a living. It's all gone. I don't have anything. I don't want to lie. I have and I don't even know why I still have it. It's kind of like a prep for the Left Behind, or maybe I'll need it if, if the rapture is after the tribulation. But the only thing I have left, I got a football helmet, and it's like an authentic throwback Bucko Bruce, the old Buccaneers logo. It's like a $300 helmet, even not signed. And Tony Dungy, the former coach of the Buccaneers and also the coach with the Colts, he lives in Tampa. And when I was still doing the memorabilia thing, he was doing a book signing. And I went to his book signing, bought his book, met him and his wife, and he signed the helmet for me. And it's personalized, so it says to Joe, and then Tony Dungy's autograph or whatever. And that's the only thing I still have left, just because, when crap hits the fan, you might want a helmet. I don't know. So yeah, that's the only reason I still have that. And but yeah, besides that, I had hundreds, probably over 1,000 items, guys. I was like the wheeler dealer of the Buccaneers memorabilia. And here, you know what? Just for the people that are new here, the Buccaneers wrote an article about me. That's how big of a fan I was. I was what you call a super fan. And it's funny? I gave up my season tickets just like months because I had my awakening in 2019. So I had already purchased my tickets for the next year, but I sold them to somebody. And I actually ended up doing okay selling the tickets because right when I stopped being a fan of the Bucks, and wouldn't that be fitting, right? Right when I stopped being a football fan, because I realized it was rigged, scripted, idolatry, and satanic, and they sacrificed people, I quit being a fan just months before we got Tom Brady. See, you hear what I just said? I said we got. See how it's still like in the programming? Like we, like I'm part of the Buccaneers, right? Yeah, we got Brady. No, they got Brady. That, right? Oh, was I buffering? That was the year where Tom Brady got win number 222. Hold on, my phone's dying. I got to wrap it up soon. But that was the year where Brady got win number 222 of his career. It was with the Buccaneers. And anyway, Buccaneers Super Bowl 222. It was the Buccaneers Super Bowl in their home stadium. And that was during the time of COVID, right? So the other big number with COVID is the 201. In that Super Bowl with the Bucks, Brady threw for 201 yards. And then the Bucks went to the White House on the 201st day of the year. But anyways, let me just show you this real quick. So this is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers website. All right, see? Buccaneers.com. And there's me. Look, I even had a Bucko Bruce gold chain that I would wear. The throwback Buccaneers logo. I thought I was cool, man. Yeah, here's some of my other ugly tattoos. Like, I got a skull on a book. Like an idiot for some reason. Yeah, don't get tattoos. Long story short, here's me, JosephAcquaviva. See, that is my real last name. And it's just talking about me being a Bucks fan, all that. Here's me at the NFL draft in Nashville. I went to a couple drafts, and I got married in New Orleans the day before the Buccaneers season opener against the Saints. That was the game where Fitzpatrick had to come in for Winston because Winston got like a 3-game suspension, and Fitzmagic had like 400 yards. Anyway, we got married in New Orleans the day before the game. All these people traveled with us from the Tampa area. And here's some of the memorabilia I used to have. This is, so when I said I had Buccaneers memorabilia, I really did. Look, this is a 6-foot-tall Mike Allstott statue that I created. I didn't build the statue, but I hand-painted it. Right? And I did all these logos and did the number and everything. And then I brought it to Mike Allstott, and then he signed it for me. So look at it. This big 6-foot statue of Mike Allstott was signed by Mike Allstott, the A-Train. That's some heavy-duty memorabilia. And that's his game-worn cleat from his rookie season. Mike Allstott's game-worn cleat from his rookie season that he signed. And that's Mike Allstott's game-worn glove from a game in Chicago that he signed too. So, yeah. But anyways, another fun fact, if you want to look at the organic side, hold on. You could have been in the club? Yeah. Well, you'll probably say I'm in the club after you see what I'm going to show you. My name equals Tampa Bay Buccaneers in multiple ciphers. And that's the organic side. And obviously there's an organic side. This all started with God showing me numbers. So, yeah, the fact that my name equals Tampa Bay Buccaneers should tell you that there's definitely something to the organic side. Or you might say I'm part of the club, and that's why my name equals Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But that's for you to decide. I promise you I'm not. I don't know how else to prove it. I don't know. All right, hold on. All right, so you guys just saw my article is on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers website, right? Look, Joseph Acquaviva equals Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Isn't that crazy? All right, guys, we've been over 2 hours now. But yeah, that's the organic side for you. I mean, I've literally, and I've done this before. I've shown pictures, guys. Actually, do I have one over here? Hold on. I don't know if I have one over here or not. Oh, it's really hard to see. What I was going to say, I have pictures of me as like a 5-year-old wearing Buccaneer shirts. Okay, so I didn't plan to be doing decodes as a 5-year-old and reveal, hey, Joseph Acquaviva equals Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So it's really hard to see in this picture, but I'm going to try to show you a picture of me and my grandma who raised me from 13 to 18. This is us at the old St. Pete Pier before they took it down. But yeah, during the holidays back, obviously I wasn't awake as a child, so I still did the Christmas thing as a child. And long story short, this is me and my grandma at the St. Petersburg Pier when I was about 5 years old. And if you look closely, in between my jacket, you will see a Buccaneers logo popping out. I'm going to get as close as I can. Where's the camera? Over here? All right. There's me. Can you see the Buccaneers shirt? You can see the little skull popping out. Anyway, you can see the little white skull down there. It's a red shirt with a little white skull, and it's got, Tampa Bay Buccaneers and black writing. Anyways, it don't really matter. And I've shown better pictures, but that's just one example. There's me in a Buccaneer shirt when I was 5 years old, so, do with that what you want. But yeah, I'm not a Freemason, and I've been accused of it many times. A couple reasons. Got the bricks, right? The bricks represent masonry, even though they're blocks. It's just the outside of my garage. But I've had that one. And then my intro, Jesus lived a perfect 33 years, which he did. And yeah, masonry does equal 33, and the highest degree of masonry, the 33rd degree. But I'm not going to let the Masons steal that number from Jesus, because remember, there are no bad numbers. And I have to assume Jesus died at the age of 33 for a reason. Obviously, the 33 is pretty important. That's probably why the Masons are obsessed with it. But no, this channel is about numbers, and I mentioned numbers in my intro. Jesus lived a perfect 33 years. So, but yep, not a Freemason. Had my channel deleted 14 times. I'm pretty much censored and shadow banned. The Masons worship Lucifer. I hate Lucifer. Masonic is a perfect match to Lucifer. Jesus Christ is my king. Yeshua is my king. Satan is a loser. The Freemasons are losers. I don't know. What else can I do? I mean, there's only so much you can do to prove you're not a Freemason, right? But anyways, it's the truth. Yep. I serve the Most High. And Jesus is God. Or Yeshua, whatever you want to call him. But he is God. In the flesh. Died for my sins, died for your sins, and he's coming again soon. So get ready, get your house in order. You must be born again. By the way, that is John 3:3. But anyways, did you know the whole verse, John 3:3? If you copy and paste it, here, let's just do it for fun since we've already been over 2 hours. Let's do John 3:3. All right. Can anybody tell me in the chat, what is the gematria of the full verse of John 3:3, the verse about being born again. I'm going to copy and paste it. Anybody know? Visionary vet, you don't remember? The verse about being born again, what does it equal? Here you go. This is the verse from the Bible about being born again. Jesus answered and said unto him, Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God, equals 11:11 in simple English gematria, where A is 1, B is 2, C is 3. And I'm probably not the only one that sees 11:11 a lot. So there's that 11:11, right? Let me see where my phone's at. 7%. I can just plug in the charger in a second if I need to. Luke 21:28, KJV. So the verse about look up, for your redemption draweth nigh. Luke 21:28, and when these things begin to come to pass, and look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. So let me show you this. So the verse about being born again equals 11:11, right? This is Luke 21:28. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. Equals 11:11 in simple English. How about that? So another huge Bible verse with the 11:11. And I got one more for you. There you go. Jesus' blood equals 11:11. How wild is that? So Jesus' blood, 11:11. The verse about look up for your redemption draweth nigh, 11:11. And the verse about being born again is 11:11. So if you're seeing 11:11, it's a good thing. You always see 11:11? That's awesome. Yeah, welcome to the channel, Star. And everyone else who's new. See, that's the problem, losing your channel 14 times. A lot of people forget about you. And then, like, it'll be 6 months or a year later, they'll be like, oh, wait a minute, I haven't seen that Joseph guy in a while. And then they'll look me up and be like, oh, man, I'm so glad I found you. I got unsubscribed, and then I'm usually like, no, they deleted my channel like 6 months ago. That's what happened. But they'll be like, oh, I'm so glad I found you again. And I'll be like, yeah, you missed a lot. Like, let's see, in 6 months I probably do about, I don't know, 200 decodes at least. Because some days it's 1 decode, some days it's 4 decodes. You never know. All right, we went on too long today. 2 hours and 14 minutes. We got to wrap it up. All right, good show today. That was fun. Hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you learned something. We dropped some information today. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you to Colin, Bonnie, Gary, Star, Gene Spice, Cody, Leslie, Vet, Jessica, Ken, Kira, Elena, Cohen, Jeffrey, everybody. City of Trees, San Juana. Sorry if I missed anyone, but yeah, guys, what a fun show today. And thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you for being here today. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And Decoding with Cody, he's going to be live in like 3 hours. He's going live with Rambo from the Truth Code. So I'll be in the chat there, hanging out. So maybe I'll see you there. But yeah, that's it for me for today. So thanks, guys. And do me a favor. On the way out, please hit the like and the share. Very much appreciated. And as always, keep looking up. We are living in the biblical end of days. Jesus is coming very soon. I can't wait. And I'll see you guys on the next video. God bless.